$500, baby, and you can pick my teammate.
Give him the chump.
You mean play basketball?
Yo, what up, Elo? What's up, baby? Just kicking this in 92 for the basketball. Check it out. Swing.
With the 9th pick in the 2010 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Gordon Hayward from Butler University.
Marcus Morris stepping right into it.
11 to 17, 30 points in 28 minutes. And look out, here comes Gordon Hayward, the Butler product.
You just love Hayward's game. He just never stops playing. Same expression on his face, no matter what comes out there.
That was your state shot, right?
I would think. He's got the hot hand right now.
Joe Ingles will inbound. Looking for a cutter. Fires it off to Hayward. On a dribble. On a step back. The jumper. Yes! Bedlam! The new money man! Knocks down the winner against Cleveland.
How many times has Hayward been in this situation last year where he did not come through? What a shot from Hayward. LeBron James falls down. He gets the shot up. This is going to count.
How's everyone doing tonight? This is episode 13, I believe. Right, Hunter?
It is the lucky number 13. And we're doing it on a Friday. That's kind of odd.
Oh, uh-oh. Well, despite that fact, this is the episode that I've been waiting for. This is the episode that Jazz fans have been waiting for. This is the episode that we, or mostly I, get to discuss my favorite player in the league, Gordon Hayward, and the idea that he is one of, if not the most underrated player in the NBA. And we are going to dive into that, and I'm going to make my case. We got some stats that we are going to take a good look at, and we're also going to compare some other players that we deem very underrated. Guys like Paul Millsap, guys like Jay Crowder, etc. We'll find some guys along the way. So, Hunter, what are your initial thoughts? What is your initial hypothesis about this? Do you think Gordon Hayward is one of the most underrated players in the league?
He is absolutely underrated, and I think a lot of it is, well, not even I think, this is what it is. This is the reason it is. There's two reasons, and I don't say this to bring this into it, but it's just the truth. You have to bring it in. First off, he's white. And I hate bringing that into it, but it's the absolute truth. And then second off, he is in Utah. When people think of Utah, you can go ask any casual fan. The last player that they're going to know that played for Utah was Malone and Stockton. That's the last player that they're going to know.
Yep.
There's just my heart goes out to him because he didn't play at a big school. He's never made a lot of money. Up until this past year, and even then, he still only made $14 million. And he's just somebody that people just don't think about. And a lot of it is he's in the West, and the West is so stacked on the wings.
Yeah.
The NBA is stacked on the wings, but
he's at least a 2-time, if not 3-time All-Star in the East. If he played in the East,
absolutely,
put at these same numbers.
Absolutely. In both are stacked on the wings. They really are, but the West is a lot more stacked, if that makes any sense, than the East. But no, you get to it because I know you're a lot more. You have a lot stronger feelings about this than I do.
Yeah, as I said at the top, Hayward is my favorite player in the league. My second being Derek Favors, and third probably being Kawhi. So I really have an affinity for those guys, and I have continued to go to bat for them, and that's exactly what I plan to do in this episode. So let's just, right off the bat, do you want to take a look at Hayward's per game numbers? So last season, as we were just talking before we got on the air, the guy's an absolute workhorse. He played the second most minutes in the league. Mm-hmm. Right? Was it last year that he did that? Yep. Right. So second most minutes in the league last year. He played 80 games. He only missed 2 games, and that was due to plantar fasciitis at the end of the year. So he played 80 games.
And he came out and said had they been in the hunt, he would have played those games, and he would have played every game in the playoffs.
Right. And because the guy he's an extremely hard worker, and he's a fighter. Just like Derek and Kawhi, that's one of the attributes that I really appreciate in professional athletes. But so, like I was saying, he played 80 games last year, 36 minutes a game, which is nuts.
It's Jimmy Butler-esque, or Tom Thibodeau-esque, I should say.
Yeah, Butler wouldn't be doing that if he had the option. So he averaged 19.7 points a game, so he's a 20 point a game scorer, which not a lot of guys in the league can do, as we know. He averaged 3.7 assists per game. He averaged 5 rebounds. He averaged a steal and about half a block. And he only turned the ball over 2 times a game, which for a guy that's playing point forward, he was ostensibly the Utah's point guard last year.
Yep.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. So
all while only getting 2 fouls a game. That's
exactly
huge.
what I was about to say. And he only got 2 fouls a game. So the guy plays extremely smart. He's a smart player, just like a lot of the Utah Jazz guys are. So looking at effective field goal percentage, he shot 49.3, which is about his career average.
Yep.
It's about average, correct?
Yes, it is. He's at 49.2 for his career, so he is average.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's also about average. I think it may be a little bit above average, but I think it's about average for
a normal player.
Yes, and for his position. He shot 82% from the line, which is very good. He shot 35% from 3, which is a little bit above league average. We already talked about effective field goal percentage, excuse me. So regular field goal percentage was 43%, which is a little bit down. But keep in mind what we just said, which is that he's doing everything for them. He's guarding the opposing team's best player and doing a heck of a job. And it makes sense. The guy's big, he's strong, he's long, he's athletic. So he's guarding the opposing team's best player. Not only is he handling the ball and playmaking, but he also has to score because the Jazz really had to work hard for their points last season. Hopefully that will change this year.
You look at it, and sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna defend it because I know a lot of people see 43%. Wow, this dude's he's inefficient, things like that. But Rudy Gobert has no semblance of an offensive game. Favors is a back to the basket type guy. Okay, I can deal with that. Point guard, who were they running with? Trey Burke a little bit, Raul Neto a little bit.
Shelvin Mack.
Oh yeah, Shelvin Mack. Forgot about him. Once they picked him up,
Burke was out of the rotation at the end of the year.
Exactly.
They were only doing Neto and Mack, and neither one of them were playing a ton. Mack played more, but still, Hayward is dominating the ball, or was last year.
So you have this guy. It knows he is. I mean, you could say Rodney Hood's a shooter. And he is, but
he is, and Rodney handled the ball a little bit too. So the load is on both of them primarily, but especially Gordon.
Yeah, so he's got to look for his teammates' open shots while also trying to find his own open shot because he knows that he's the really only really good offensive player on the team, all while trying to find somewhere deep inside of him the fortitude to muster up something because he just exerted everything over on the defensive side of the ball. And
yeah, absolutely. And as someone who's played for a while and had to do that in certain leagues or teams that I played on, that's tough. I mean, it's draining. And you ask any NBA guy, you ask LeBron, you ask, trying to think of guys who guard the best players. I guess KD in the playoffs. You ask Kawhi. Yeah. Those guys are working.
Avery Bradley,
really,
he's a real big one.
Absolutely. Avery Bradley. Even Klay Thompson, even though Steph, obviously handles the ball a lot. And Draymond Green too. This is not something that is easy to do on a game-to-game basis. And the guy has played, 80 games last year, 76 games the year before, and keep in mind he started all these games, and 77 games before that. So it's a lot, man. He's been doing a lot.
Well, and I think I'm going to kind of make this it's going to be now. I'm going to kind of switch it and make it a Utah Jazz type thing, y'all, because what I want to let y'all know, kind of a disclaimer, is this isn't going to be anything that's going to go 35, 40 minutes because we're not going to talk about, we're not going to just run around in circles. It's going to be, I don't want to say a short one, but it's going to be a lot shorter than the past couple. But
right.
I'm going to say that I think that these pickups that they got this offseason so far are going to be huge for him because he's going to have a point guard now who can actually bring the ball up the court. Rodney Hood is going to be a lot healthier, and he's just going to be a better overall player. Favors, you could argue that he's one of the most underrated players in the league.
Absolutely. I was just about to get into that. Go ahead.
Rudy Gobert, they got Joe Johnson. Like they have got when you look at it, this team's actually pretty good. And I didn't really realize how good they were until the day I was reading, and I was just like, man, these guys are good. So
I'm calling it now, fourth seed in the West.
I wouldn't be surprised with what I just saw. I would not be surprised with the team. But I think that this year you may see his stats, like the sexy stats, the points, that's really actually about it. I mean,
3-point field goal percentage he's a good 3-point shooter. His career 36% 3-point shooter.
You may see the points go down simply because there's just more players around now that are going to score some points. But I think you're going to see him take that leap in people's eyes. I don't think his game's going to grow a ton because it doesn't really have a lot of room to grow because he's already really good. But it's gonna. Those stats are going to look a lot better. The shooting percentage is going to look better because he's not shouldering such a load and things like that. So I believe that these pickups that they had are going to be huge in showing people, and he's finally going to, in my humble opinion, I think he's finally going to make a name for himself amongst the casual fans because his stats are just going to look better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And what did I want to do? I wanted to sort of dive in a little bit deeper and look at some of the advanced metrics.
Okay, so I had this up right now. So his advanced metrics, value over replacement player, last year it was 3.3 wins. So if this is just a normal guy,
that's good.
He's worth 3 more wins than the other guys. His usage is high, 25.7. So, I mean, that's half of it right there. Mm-hmm. True shooting percentage, which takes into account the 2-point field goals, 3-point field goals, and free throws. The guy shoots 56%. Not bad. And that was last year. His PER, 18.3. So he's above the league average. There's just a lot of things when you dig deep into it and you get past the eye test that really means nothing. And you look at the stats, you see that this guy's pretty good. He's pretty good, and that's just really what it boils down to.
Let's also look at his the similarity scores in terms of win shares. He's up there with guys like Detlef Schrempf, Alex English, Jerome Kersey, Corey Maggette, Danny Manning, Derek Favors, Chandler Parsons. Like those are some of those guys aren't as good as others, but those are some good names. Like the guy, I mean, those are. Let's see, Schrempf.
I saw Alex English. I didn't see that when I was looking earlier. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's nothing to scoff at. It's really not. And I want to take a look at this metric. It is the top small forwards compared statistically. It's on Infogram. I originally saw it on Reddit. I need to figure. I want to shout this guy out. So let me find his name really quickly. RGISS on Reddit. This guy, he's an avid Reddit user on the Utah Jazz subreddit, and he does some really, really great stuff. So this is a metric that he composed. So the first graph we see is every player's standard deviation above average. So I wish you guys could see this. We probably should have made it a video podcast, but we're too dumb to figure that stuff out. So let's see. Let's count them. Steph Curry's number 1. Leonard's number 2, Westbrook's number 3, Paul's number 4, LeBron 5, Durant 6, Lowry 7, Harden 8, DeAndre Jordan 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So by this metric, Hayward is the 23rd best player in the league.
I can say he's better than DeAndre Jordan. He's better than Kyle Lowry. Those are two names that just immediately popped up. He's better than those guys.
I agree. And here are some other guys. I think he's better than Whiteside.
Yep.
I think at this point in his career, he's better than Horford.
Yep.
I do.
That's 4.
Cat is certainly going to be better than. I think will be better than. I love Karl-Anthony Towns. I think he's going to be a star. But at this point, I would not say he's better on both ends than Hayward. Gobert is obviously not better than both ends of Hayward.
And these are guys that are ahead of him?
Yes, these are guys that are ahead of him on this particular metric. So obviously every metric is flawed, but your perception of him and mine has him above these guys.
That's 5. So that just right there, just those quick names with Gobert, with Horford, with Lowry, with Whiteside, and with another one who I can't think of. He's 18, right there. And that's
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan.
And throw 17 there because Carmelo Anthony is the guy right above him. And let's be honest, if we want to talk about efficiency and we want to talk about defense, Hayward's got to be above him, right? Carmelo is going to put up those sexy stats, and Carmelo actually did have a decent year defensively last year.
To say that.
Right, but
so by that metric, he's an all-star player, easy.
Yes,
but
easily.
He's not an all-star player, and
because of flashiness and because of market, like we've previously mentioned. But go ahead.
Fan vote. You have to take that into account. I mean,
exactly, absolutely.
Is a casual fan going to take in Carmelo and Al Horford and Hassan Whiteside and DeAndre Jordan, or are they going to take in a white guy who plays in Utah? No, you're going to take in those guys that have a sexier game. And I'm looking right now. This is kind of
that's the guys they want to see.
Absolutely.
Those are the.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at his contract right now. Listen to this. In the day and age where we are going to have Solomon Hill making $12 million. Hear me out. That's not a knock on Solomon Hill, but it's more so a knock on just how cheap Gordon has it. This upcoming year, he's getting paid $16 million. $4 million more than Solomon Hill. He's getting paid less than Mozgov. He's getting paid less than Evan Turner. He's getting paid less, and I'll bring in good players. He's getting paid less than Evan Fournier. He's getting paid. I mean, it's just like, no. I mean, you're smart by the Jazz, beautiful by the Jazz.
Right, no kidding. It's a great move. I want to. My phone just died, but I want to send you this link so you can look at the same metric I am. Do me a favor and search Gordon Hayward compared to top SFs, and it should be like the third one down.
Okay.
It should be It should be comparing top small forwards statistically, and it'll be a link to Reddit.
Perfect. Here it is. I'm looking at this, y'all. So sorry that we're having to do this, but we just want to give y'all something that's it's about as unbiased as possible, and is looking at stats as opposed to just name alone and just kind of guessing.
Okay, so this is kind of nuts. Value over replacement, Hayward's better than Anthony. He's better than Gobert. He's better than Klay Thompson. He's better than Hassan Whiteside. I mean, like you said, he's up there. He's 18th at least. At least.
I mean,
he's comparable to Cat. He's comparable to DeAndre Jordan. Let's look at some other stuff. Net rating. Oh, this will be good. This should be good.
See, y'all, this is... We're doing this to open y'all's eyes. This isn't really to push an agenda or anything like that. This is to open your eyes to just... When you can look at these things and you can look at them from a sheer
objective and statistical.
You can just see that these guys that ESPN pushes down our throats as being the best in the world. And I'm not saying that Curry's not better than him. I'm not saying Leonard's not better than him or LeBron or Durant. Like, they are.
Right.
But when you can get past the media crap is really what it is, and just look at stats, which is what people get into the Hall of Fame upon, despite what anybody can say is that's the biggest thing is the stats. You look and you see that Hayward is he's an excellent player, and I think that
he's an elite player.
I think that this year, this upcoming year, just like I said, with their team getting better, I think that he will now get the respect that he deserves. And people are gonna say, okay, this dude's good. What the heck have we been missing? But what were you gonna say?
I'm sorry. You can finish your thought. I just have another interesting statistic.
He's just good. That's all I'm gonna say about it. He's just good.
So in terms of net rating, better than Carmelo Anthony, neck and neck with John Wall, better than Karl Anthony Towns by far, better than DeMarcus Cousins, better than Jimmy Butler, neck and neck with Damian Lillard, better than James Harden. I mean, the guy's right up there on all of these metrics. With the top, it's not a fluke, and people need to actually recognize what this guy's been able to do in the league, frankly, without much help at this point. And I just want to echo what you've been saying about the fact that he has a much better supporting cast next year. I do think it's going to catapult him into the next level, and I hope that he gets the recognition for it. At the end of the day, recognition isn't important. Wins are important.
Yep.
And efficacy and success are important, but it would still be nice, because it does drive me nuts that guys like Gordon and guys like Derek don't get the respect and recognition that they truly do deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, give me and guys, we're almost wrapping this up, not too much longer. Give me probably let's say 2-3 other players that you think maybe not on his level of being underrated, but just players that you think are underrated along with him.
I do think Favors is there. I think the 3 guys that I mentioned, and I'm sure I'm forgetting. Someone.
Favors, Millsap, Crowder.
Hey, Favors, Millsap, Crowder. Brook Lopez, I think, is kind of an underrated guy, and I'm not even a big fan of Brook Lopez at all.
Okay.
But he's on one of these metrics, and he has some pretty compelling stats. And I can't really think of anyone else. Vucevic is a very underrated guy. Very underrated. He's another guy. Him and Brook Lopez are certainly not as good as Hayward, especially according to these metrics, but they're up there. Let me take a look at just like 2 or 3 more stats of Hayward's and how he compares to the top guys. So, PER, let's see. He's up there once again. Comparable to Wall, comparable to Anthony, better than Klay Thompson, which is crazy. Better than Al Horford. Comparable to Al Horford. Better than all of these guys around him.
How in the world did Hassan Whiteside have a 2.83 PER? Wow, that's crazy.
It's nuts, and it's because the guy, pretty much only dunks. So that's something that's gonna. I mean, he does a lot of things very efficiently, and I'm not a huge Whiteside fan by any stretch.
I mean, he plays 2 feet from the basket at any given time.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, a couple more stats. BPM, better than Anthony, better than Cat, better than Klay Thompson does not look good by these metrics.
He does not look good advanced stats wise. He does not, and that's what everybody has always said. He has never looked good advanced stat wise.
I mean, wow. So better than Anthony, better than Cat, better than Klay Thompson, comparable to Cousins, better than Whiteside, comparable to DeAndre Jordan. Okay. Comparable to Al Horford. Comparable to Jimmy. I mean, he's neck and neck with all these guys. And then win shares per 48. Better than Carmelo Anthony. Way better than John Wall. We need to, as a fan base, not Jazz fan base, as NBA fans, we need to take a look at some of John Wall's numbers. Because the guy does not help his team win basketball games. He doesn't. I think John Wall's a good dude. We've talked about this off air before. I'm actually a Wall fan, but I mean, he's at this point in his career, he doesn't play winning basketball. He doesn't shoot it well. He can be a great defender, but he takes possessions off a
42% from the field for his career, 42.9. So let's say 43%.
What does he shoot? What does he shoot from 3?
Probably about 3%. From 3, 31.9, so 32%.
Bad.
There was a season he shot 7%. I'm not even kidding you. 7%.
Oh my God.
Wow. I mean,
so win shares better than Carmelo, better than John Wall. Neck and neck with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson of the 73-win Golden State Warriors. Klay Thompson, who is a consensus top 2 shooting guard in the league. I mean, it's nuts. Better than DeMarcus Cousins. Neck and neck with Paul George. It just needs to be talked about, guys. And I will stop. And we can I know we're about to wrap it up. We can very briefly take a look at some of the other guys we mentioned, but I don't want to rant and I don't want to force the issue anymore. But I just think that it's something that needs to be recognized because the guy he's the franchise player. He's doing everything for that team and he's doing it well. And he's a workhorse, and he's a really good dude from all accounts, and his advanced metrics look great. So it's just something that he just needs to be talked about more, and he needs to be recognized for what he's been able to do in the league.
Absolutely, and I'm kind of glad that I am glad that we spent some time talking about him because I just want to give that man the respect that he deserves and the respect that, quite frankly, he's earned. Some guy that we spent 20, 25 minutes, however long it's been 24 minutes talking about him because he is well worth it. And I'll let you wrap it up here in just a second. And I'm going to leave these people with a couple things. One,
you got it.
Another one who I'm going to talk about, and we can probably have an episode dedicated to him and why he isn't, why he's the superstar that everybody says Boston lacks, and that's Isaiah Thomas. We can talk about that at some other time. But guys, what I want to say, a couple things. First, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and second off, we are we're recording a lot in succession because this upcoming week, so the week of July the 11th through the 16th, I'm working 6 straight doubles at work, and that is 5A to 9P. And I'm working at a different gym. I'm a personal trainer, y'all, but I'm working at a different gym that's about an hour away from my house. So I'm having to get up at like 3:30 in the morning, getting home at 10 o'clock at night. So not getting a lot of sleep. So with all that being said, I know we can kind of have that little violin in the background. I sound like a little whiny baby about this. But with that being said, we're not going to be able to record next week because of that fact of I've just got to get sleep. So we're trying to record all these and kind of... We want to put them up as quickly as possible and as close to when we recorded them as possible, but we also don't want to leave y'all without an episode for a week. So that's going to be up to us as to how we decide to upload these. But with all that being said, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this short little discussion about Gordon Hayward and why he is a superstar and why he needs to be respected. And I hope that us giving you those stats just really helped y'all just respect the man that he is. But with all that being said, hope y'all enjoyed it, y'all, and y'all have a great weekend. God bless and adios.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. And I think Hunter left you with that thought, and I want to leave you with a couple thoughts of my own. As Hunter said, as fans, I think it's kind of important to recognize players for what they truly are and what they have accomplished. So the guys that I previously mentioned, Hayward, Millsap, Favors, Crowder, guys like those that really work hard and play the game the right way. And I sound like an old white sports writer, but so be it. Guys that do the right things and play well and play team basketball, they need to be talked about more, especially guys that do it at such an elite level. So that's just a thought I wanted to leave you with. And we didn't even really... Oh, dude, I forgot the biggest metric I wanted to say, and now my phone died, so I can't... I think I remember it. There are 4 players in the league since 2013 that have 3,500 points, 900 rebounds. I think it's 1,200 assists and 300 3-point field goals. Hunter, if you had to guess those 4 players from what I just said, and just ignore the 25 minutes that we just talked about, if you had to guess those 4 players, who would it be? So let me say it again for everyone that's listening and for you as well. 3,500 points, 900 rebounds, 1,200 assists, and 300 3-point field goals. Who would those 4 players be? Only 4 players in the league.
LeBron.
Okay.
Curry.
Okay.
Man, I don't want to say Durant because of the assist. I'm going to say Leonard. And then I know because of the fact that we just talked about him, Hayward.
I just tried to tell you.
No, hold on, hear me out. Hayward's in it, but had I not known that, I would have said probably. He doesn't assist the ball though, so I can't say him. But because I can't think of anybody else, I'd say Harden. I really don't know who he is. I know
2 for 4. 2 for 4.
So it's James.
Curry. 3 for 4. No. Harden, Curry, Kyle Lowry, and Gordon Hayward.
Really?
Those are the 4 guys. And
Harden, Curry,
Steph
Lowry,
Curry's a 2-time
Hayward.
MVP. Harden's a perennial All-Star. Lowry's been an All-Star the past 2 years in which he's put up those numbers. Guess who's missing from that mix? Gordon Hayward.
Wow.
I mean, is there anything else to say? There's another one. There's another metric. There are 6 guys. 6 guys in the league that average 19, 5, and 3. 6 guys that do
5
that.
and 3. Okay, so
yes.
You have LeBron, you have Durant, you have Curry, you have Leonard, you have George.
I don't think Leonard's in there because I don't think he averages assists. It's George. That's 4.
Okay. 5 assists.
It's Harden.
Okay, Harden,
it's Harden.
And then Hayward.
That's 5. And then Hayward.
Wow.
So can we go through those guys too? LeBron, one of the best players of all time. Curry, 2 consecutive MVP. Durant, MVP, and obviously one of the best scorers of all time. Paul George, perennial and consensus All-Star. James Harden, again, perennial and consensus All-Star, finished 2nd in MVP voting last year. Who has not received any of those accolades? Gordon Hayward, yet he's putting up the same numbers. Wow. He's doing it, folks. He's done it the last 2 years.
Wow.
Give the man his due. Give the man his due propers.
Wow, that's crazy. That's some crazy stuff to think about.
That's the last. Those are the first 2 things I should have led with. It sucks that my phone died, but those are 2 of the most compelling graphics that I've ever seen about a player. Like the 2 most shocking things that I see. This guy is in the same league as these other guys who we all consider the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Cream Team Podcast.
No pun intended.
Right. The consensus top players in the league. And this guy's doing the same thing that they are. And yet he's never talked about with those guys.
Wow.
So that is the basketball thought I want to leave you guys with. In more important things, as we touched on last episode, a couple tragedies have happened in the last 72 hours, and we wanted to again give our thoughts and prayers and condolences to all the victims in Minnesota, in Louisiana, and in Dallas. Violence only begets more violence, people, and there are some serious systemic issues that we as a nation need to address. And I just really hope that everyone can keep those things in mind and try to maintain peace and realize that violence truly is never the answer. So, I mean, hopefully this stuff can get fixed, man. It's really sad stuff. Well, thankfully we have the NBA to distract ourselves from.
Amen to that. But y'all, hope y'all enjoyed it. Just like Griffin just said, just always be thinking about that stuff. This life is so much more important than basketball. It's so much more important than sports.
Always
entertainment. Yeah. It's so much more important than that, y'all. It's about spending time with the ones that you love, respecting the ones.
It's about treating everyone with respect and equality.
Absolutely, y'all.
Because everyone deserves it. We're all humans at the end of the day.
That is what it is, and that's what we're gonna leave y'all with. But I hope y'all enjoyed it, and have a great weekend, y'all, and adios.
You guys take care. Thank you so much for listening.